What if I told you that one day a man will walk the earth and control the weather? He will command the sky, and rain will fall. He will command the land, and crops will grow. He will appear to bring the dead back to life. He will solve famine. He will end economic collapse. He will look into the camera of the world and say, "I am your Lord." And millions, maybe billions, will believe him. Not because they are stupid, not because they are evil, but because he will give them exactly what they are desperate for: security, food, hope, miracles. Islamic tradition calls him Al-Masih ad-Dajjal, the false Messiah, the great deceiver. And according to the Prophet Muhammad, there has been no greater trial on earth since the creation of Adam than the trial of the Dajjal. Reported in Sahih Muslim. Let that sink in. Not war, not plague, not tyranny. Him. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Dajjal narrative is how frequently the Prophet warned about him. Companions reported that the Prophet mentioned the Dajjal so often that they feared he might appear in their lifetime. In narrations preserved in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet said, "If he appears while I am among you, I will contend with him on your behalf." That is not casual language. That is urgency. This wasn't myth building. This was preparation. Islamic scholars note that when a subject appears across multiple chains of narration, across major canonical collections, and through numerous companions, it indicates theological seriousness. And the Dajjal appears everywhere in Hadith literature. The Prophet did not leave this vague. In Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, the Dajjal is described as **a young man, ** with thick, curly hair, ** a broad chest, ** a defective right eye, described as floating like a grape. The Prophet emphasized, "Your Lord is not one-eyed." This comparison is powerful. It draws a theological contrast. The Dajjal will claim divinity, but his physical imperfection exposes the absurdity of the claim. And then comes one of the most discussed elements. Between his eyes will be written, "Kafir," disbeliever. And every believer will read it. Scholars interpret this both literally and spiritually. In times of ultimate deception, clarity belongs to those grounded in truth. According to narrations in Sahih Muslim, the Dajjal will travel the earth at astonishing speed. One companion asked, "How fast will he travel?" The Prophet replied, "Like rain driven by the wind. He will enter every city, except Mecca and Medina. Those two cities, the Prophet said, will be guarded by angels." This detail appears consistently in authentic narrations. Think about that symbolism. The centers of revelation remain protected. Everywhere else? Open to the test. Now we approach the heart of the terror. Authentic narrations state, "He will come to a people and call them to believe in him. If they believe, the sky will rain, the land will grow vegetation, their livestock will return full and prosperous. If they reject him, their land will become barren. Famine will follow. Economic collapse." This is not random cruelty. This is coercion through survival. In another narration, he will appear to kill a young man, and then bring him back to life. Imagine witnessing that. Imagine seeing what appears to be resurrection. Would most people question it? Or surrender? The Prophet warned, he will have with him something resembling paradise and hell. But what appears to be paradise will be hell. And what appears to be hell will be paradise. This is inversion. Epistemological case. Reality weaponized. The Arabic root of Dajjal implies covering truth with falsehood. He doesn't simply lie. He overwhelms perception. He exploits desperation. Narrations indicate that 3 years of severe drought precede his arrival. The first year, 1/3 of rain withheld. The second year, 2/3. The third year, almost none. By the time he appears, humanity is exhausted, hungry, financially broken. Then he offers relief. The Dajjal is not merely a villain. He is a master strategist of human weakness. And yet, the Prophet gave a remarkably simple protection. In Sahih Muslim, he said, "Whoever memorizes the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf will be protected from the Dajjal." Why Surah Al-Kahf? Because it contains 4 stories: the people of the cave, faith under persecution; the man with 2 gardens, illusion of wealth; Moses and Khidr, limits of human knowledge; Tul-Karnain, power with justice. Each story dismantles one pillar of the Dajjal's deception: fear, greed, arrogance, authority. Protection is intellectual, spiritual, not physical. Let me pause here, because what I'm about to share is not speculation. It is not folklore. It is not weak narration. It comes from the most rigorously authenticated Hadith collections in Islamic history. The Prophet Muhammad said, "From the creation of Adam until the hour, there is no trial greater than the trial of the Dajjal." Sahih Muslim. Think about that. Human history has witnessed empires rise and fall, world wars, genocides, plagues, nuclear weapons, and yet, the greatest trial is still ahead: a man. The Prophet did not leave this figure vague. He described him with unsettling clarity. In both Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, he said, "He is one-eyed, and your Lord is not one-eyed." This is not just physical description. It is theology. The Dajjal will claim divinity, but he will be visibly flawed. The Creator is perfect. The deceiver is not. And then comes something even more striking. The Prophet said, "Written between his eyes will be the word kafir, disbeliever, which every believer will be able to read." Sahih Muslim. Even those who cannot read. At the peak of deception, recognition will not be intellectual alone, it will be spiritual. But what makes him the greatest trial? Power. According to Sahih Muslim, he will command the sky, and it will rain. He will command the earth, and crops will grow. He will approach starving people and say, "Believe in me," and their land will flourish. Imagine a world suffering famine, economic collapse, climate crisis. Then a man appears who fixes it overnight. Would the world question him, or worship him? The Prophet also warned, "He will have with him what appears to be paradise and fire, but his fire will be paradise, and his paradise will be fire." Sahih Muslim. Reality will invert. What looks like salvation will be destruction. What looks like suffering may be protection. The trial is not brute force. It is perception. There is a narration in Sahih Muslim that sends chills down the spine. A young believer will confront the Dajjal publicly. The Dajjal will kill him, and then appear to bring him back to life. The crowd will be stunned. But the young man will say, "My certainty has only increased." The Dajjal will try to kill him again, and fail. This is the psychological battlefield. Miracles will not equal truth. Power will not equal legitimacy. Spectacle will not equal divinity. The Prophet even described the duration of his reign: 40 days. One day like a year, one like a month, one like a week, and the rest like your normal days. Sahih Muslim. Time itself will feel distorted. And despite all this power, there are limits. He will not enter Mecca or Medina. Angels will guard them. Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. According to authentic narrations across Sahih Muslim and Sunan Abi Dawud, the Dajjal will reign for 40 days, described as unequal in length. Then Jesus, son of Mary, will descend. He will pursue the Dajjal and ultimately defeat him. No spectacle. No debate. Just the collapse of falsehood before truth. And that is the theological climax. Deception has limits. Truth does not. The Dajjal is not just a future event. He is a warning embedded into theology. About charisma without morality. Power without accountability. Miracles without divine authority. He represents the ultimate test. Will you follow spectacle or substance? Because when survival is threatened, discernment becomes rare. And that is why the Prophet said, "No trial is greater." The question is not whether he will deceive the world. The question is, would we be among those who see clearly? If you want the full breakdown of the minor signs before his appearance, and the role of Jesus in Islamic eschatology, subscribe. Next episode, The return of Jesus in Islam, what actually happens?